is significantly changing. They don't see how it is that our debt is skyrocketing. They're blind to it, man. They're just blind to it. Why they're blind to it, I'll never understand. So I'll never understand, just like I'll never understand why some Islamic moron will be a terrorist and chop off somebody's head and then, die in the name of Allah thinking he's getting virgins somewhere. I mean, who thinks this stuff? I can't get my head around that. So when we look at how this whole thing has sort of fallen down, and I say it's fallen down because these judges in courts have really gotten their way. When you look at the situation as it is right now, you got to ask yourself, where does it go from here? I've said to you all during the week when I do get the chance of popping on, and for those of you who haven't been with me, I have said numerous times that the ban part of this was not the significant part. It was a very important part because what it did was it gave the agencies a chance to catch their breath, a chance of saying, slow down the conveyor belt. And as you know, I've used that wonderful analogy of I Love Lucy, where she's sitting there at the chocolate factory and all the chocolates are going past her at a rate that she cannot control, and therefore so many of the chocolates are going by uninspected and unwrapped, and it becomes a complete chaotic mess. That's our immigration system. And so if we would stop taking these people in for a while and allow these people in our agencies that do this sort of thing, DHS and so forth, if we would allow them to catch their breath and come up with new processes that would make the president and all of America feel a lot better about who was coming into the country, when they were coming into the country, why they were coming into the country, and how they were coming into the country, well, then we would be able to turn the spigot back on and all would be done, and we could all feel a lot safer. You would think that the liberal media would be smarter than they are. I'm going to say something to you that I guarantee you nobody has said. If I was a liberal and I was sitting back and figuring out how it is that we could rid ourselves of Trump, I would not have gone this direction. I would have not have put together this resistance and tried to come up with these protests, etc. What I would have said was, let him do it. Let him do his ban. Let him do his vetting thing. Let him give his 90 days and put the trigger back on. Because you know and I know that we're going to have another terror attack in this country regardless of what he does. And we can pin it all on him. What they've done, what they don't realize until it happens, is that when there is a terror attack in this country, and it will happen, happens all the time, right? Well, Trump is going to be able to point to them and say, this is your fault. And so, ultimately, we're all going to lose based on this ridiculousness that's going on back and forth. And so, when I tell you that the ban is the least important part, it is. It is. If I were the president of the United States, this is not the way I would have gone about it. It's not a criticism of Trump. He'd take a left, I took a right. The key part here, and I hope is not getting lost, is that we need to have DHS working on a plan that makes for better vetting, that makes for better security measures. I know of one immediately, and that is to lower the number of people coming into this country. It's the only way to really do it. I don't care. You can say you're going to have all these different checks or whatever it may be. You simply cannot have it. The countries that we're talking about taking people in from, they just do not have the systems in place. These places are like third world. They're corrupt. They don't have the sort of fingerprinting system and the computed data that we have on people. They can't give us a real rundown of who Tim or Tommy or Susie or Janie are. You can't do it. You're flying completely blind. Not to mention the fact of all the fake documentation that goes on. Look at the Syrian president. Just was on an interview. And he said, of course there are terrorists mixed in with the refugees. Of course there are. Yeah. So our whole thing here about whether there's a ban or there's no ban, I'm hoping that DHS is in the back playing every single day scenarios of where it is that we can come up with better systems. I wish Donald Trump, President Trump, would tweet about those things. Tweet about those things and letting us know that, yeah, don't worry, we're still moving forward with all the different things that we need to put in place. And here are some things that we're thinking about. And put that out, because what that would do is that would change the narrative. That would change the narrative in getting it away from the judges and the so-called judges and all this other different crap that he's only just taking shots to the knees on. And in some cases, he's feeling his own fire. If we were just to focus in on those sort of things right now, people would come around. But the problem is that the American people, for the most part, have very, very short attention spans. Think about it. I mean, I just got an email this morning from a woman, one of the rare ones that I get to glimpse at, says, your walk and talks, I'm not listening anymore. All right, well, first of all, I haven't been doing walk and talks in a while, but she says, you don't get to the point. Okay? You don't get the point. No? But you get it? She just wants me to give a rundown of sheets and move on. That's the mentality of many Americans. They don't have time. You know, they're too busy to really get the soaked in value of what things mean. They want bullet points. So you know what? Unfortunately, that's most people. Donald Trump should give it to him. He should be playing to the weakness of people. And that is giving them the short little sound bites instead of stuff like Arnold Schwarzenegger and all the other different little jazz that's been sent out over the last couple of days with the tweets. I'm frustrated with the tweets. We just put a poll out this morning, and you guys seem to agree with me. It's on DennisMichaelLynch.com if you haven't seen it. The question is, and this is the number one email we've been getting. Two, you know, it's funny. The emails that we receive in every single day at wetrustdml@gmail.com and the submit news tab on DennisMichaelLynch.com. The stuff, it always seems to lean one way or another on a topic. I always get a ton of stuff about the app, questions about the app, and I get now a lot of stuff about the tweets. And I think what's happening is that a lot of you who didn't understand my concerns about the tweets in the beginning, thought I was being nitpicky and petty, you're starting to come around the other way, and you're seeing how it is that it could wind up hurting long term. And we put out a poll today because the amount of emails I'm getting in saying, DML, you were right. I'm a little concerned about these tweets. I wish you would stop. Wish you would do it a little differently. You know, it's a very powerful tool. Even Mark Cuban, who I cannot stand, he said it. He said it pretty articulately the other day. He said, look, man, I like the tweets. He even said, I like some of the stuff the president's doing. I like the fact that he's trying to get things done quick. He's cutting through the BS of DC. He's killing the overregulated stuff, the over-regulations that are on businesses. He liked all that stuff. And then, of course, he went into his liberal rant about what he didn't like. But he took in the whole Twitter thing. And he said, look, I like the fact that he tweets. It gives me and people the ability to see where his head is. He said, the problem is the stuff that he's tweeting lets us think that his head's all over the place. And so, see, whether you agree with that statement or not, perception is reality. And this is why I've told you this a gazillion times. And you know, as cocky as it may sound from yours truly, I'm typically right about this stuff. I have not come on here yet and said, oh boy, I missed that one. And the thing is that perception is reality. And if the perception is that the president's head is all over the place, people lose confidence. You know, even if you don't support the president, you know, and you're just a everyday person going about your business, you look up once in a while and see what's going on. You know, you want to have confidence in your president, whether you like him or not. You want to know that he's not unhinged. You want to know that he's solid. And when they look up and the only thing they see or hear about are these silly tweets, even if 9 out of 10 things he's doing during the day are helping the country, they're only going to see that one. And that's why I say eliminate the one. Don't give them anything to fuel on. You know, take that away from them. And they got nothing, man. They got to make stuff up. And so you are starting to agree with me. The poll this morning shows that over 75% of you want to see the tweets that are non-policy, or I should say unrelated to policy and issues, you want to see them stop. We're sending the results to my contact over at the White House. Hopefully they'll get in front of the president. Not because we want to say you're wrong, but because we want to say, hey, this is a team effort, and here's our opinion. Whether he takes it or not, that's ultimately up to him. So let's just hope that he starts to realize the fact that Americans really just want the real data. We want the real story. And so there are ways that I think the president can still work this to his advantage. Yeah, he says he's going to fight it in the courts. But see, that's the thing. I don't know why he made that statement. And that's the knee-jerk reactions I can't stand. You can't take the stuff back. See, we just posted a story last night on DennisMichaelLynch.com about how it is that the Mexican authorities are literally telling illegal aliens to take the president and the United States of America to court. And see, and there's a document that was revealed by the Washington Free Beacon, where it was written by a bunch of Democrat operatives how to stop the Trump train. And the way to do it is to use the courts, flood him with lawsuits. And what you've seen is that although the presidency is a very powerful position, the courts are very powerful as well. And so we get stuck in this tug of war where nothing gets done, and it winds up becoming, an ego contest of who's going to win and who's got more power. Meanwhile, you and I are sitting here left holding the bag because we still got refugees coming in at an incredible rate. We still got immigrants coming in at an incredible rate. Nothing has happened so far in my life that's changed. I want to see the changes happen. I don't want to see the tug of war. So I want to see us work smarter and better. And the way that you do that in this particular topic is that he's talked about coming up with more executive orders. Okay, fine. But I hope he doesn't come up with an executive order that's only going to wind up in the same position that this one is, on some judge's desk who's going to turn around and slam it down. Because the fact of the matter is that the majority of the judges that are out there in this country right now are liberal leaning. And Obama did one hell of a job in loading up these district courts with liberals. And he did this while everybody else in the country was busy watching Dancing with the Stars. Nobody was paying attention. Guys like Dennis Michael Lynch, Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh, we were screaming, hey man, he's appointing judges. And nobody was paying attention because you know why? Talking about appointing judges isn't sexy, especially if it's not at the Supreme Court level. And so here we are, challenged by the fact that we've got to go around this liberal-leaning court system that we've got. Okay, so DML, what's the answer? The answer is to go back what I have said a million times before. You have to cut off the incentive to come here. And you have to cut off the incentive to stay here. And that means cut off the money, cut off the jobs, cut it off. All right? The way that you cut off this whole refugee program / immigration system we have is right now, it is based on family. You got a person who comes in, they make a petition for the other people in their family who live back at home. That's got to stop. If you don't offer something to this country of immense value, you do not come. The majority of these people are coming here and they are ending up on our welfare system. It's that simple. Take the numbers and change the numbers. No longer can the United States financially, and that's where he should be going, down the hardship route. The route of the hardship on the American taxpayer is too heavy. We have to limit the amount of people that are coming in here. Therefore, if we limited the amount of people that come in here, we could do a better background check. We should also put more stringent processes, details that are required from a refugee in order to be able to make it into the United States of America. Okay, refugees are screened pretty decently. I will give it that. But even so, and yeah, I mean, all you need is one guy to come in and do the wrong thing. But nevertheless, President Trump can absolutely win this game if he just plays it a little differently and lets this fight with this ban thing, just let it go. He's got to take, he's got to take the loss in the column. We just watched Tom Brady win his 5th Super Bowl. Well, let me tell you something. He lost 2 Super Bowls before that. He lost 2 Super Bowls. Does that not make him the greatest quarterback in history because he's got 2 losses on his case? I'll tell you right now, I grew up as a Joe Montana fan. Joe Montana won 4 Super Bowls. He lost none. Terry Bradshaw won 4 Super Bowls, lost none. Tom Brady won 5 Super Bowls, lost 2. Ask DML who he thinks is the greatest quarterback of all time. And I tell you, it used to be Joe Montana. Now I think it's Tom Brady. He's won more than the other guy, and he's appeared more than the other guy. Just getting to the Super Bowl in of itself is a Herculean effort. So my thing to the president is, you're not going to win every game. You're not going to win every fight. You're not going to win every single time that you try to move forward with something. But it's not about the little fights. It's about the overall fight that you want to win. And we need to get these numbers of this immigration stuff down. We need to get the deportations up. Now you're seeing these raids that are taking place. Some of these raids were already taking place prior to President Trump. So it's not like we could just sit here, and I'm going to turn around, it gets bad over here. It's not like we could just sit here and say, oh, all these raids are happening because he's cracking down on immigration. Some of this stuff is already done. It's just being highlighted more now because he's in there. But I'd like to see those raids continue. Let these people protest. Let us, the American people, see, this is where it all comes back. If we, the American people, start to see the difference in our lives, whether you're conservative, independent, or left-leaning, if you start to see the impact positively in your life, you start to see the impact of what Donald Trump is putting forward with his team, the protests become irrelevant. There's the bells for you folks who haven't heard them in a while. Yeah. The bells, the rain, the snow, it's all here on the Walk and Talk. Huh? Miss it a little bit, don't you? Let me give acknowledgement, will you? Thank you. Thank you for this beautiful day. Well, any day is beautiful. Maybe not this one, but you know what I mean. Thank you very much. Been missing you on the Walk and Talk, but I'm still checking in every day. All right. Make sure these good people on the other side have a good Sunday. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying. If we can start to show some significant results over the next couple of weeks, like we have in the job market, right? The unemployment rate dropping down to a 43-year low. We've got jobs, the job numbers for January exceeding what the expectations were. We added 200, I think it was in 30,000 jobs when the expectation was only 180,000. Now, some people wanted to give that credit to President Barack Hussein Obama and the end of his presidency. Buttocks. Buttocks. No way. No way. President Barack Hussein Obama in the last couple of months did nothing to try to enhance jobs. He did nothing to try to tail down unemployment. He tried to do his see you later tour, just like every president does. All right? He focused in more on who he could release from jail. And oh, by the way, in case you didn't see this story on DennisMichaelLynch.com, although it's a little old and outdated now, about a week, but one of the guys that he removed a life sentence for actually gets out of jail and goes and commits the same crime that he did before Obama let him out of jail. Yeah, that was a winning program, huh? Yeah. So anyhow, these positive notes, this is what we have to work off. We keep on working off those sort of things. The more that Americans see that sort of thing, the more that they'll get on the Trump train. This other stuff that you constantly see in the news that he feeds into, it only clouds over all those great things that are in place so far. Clouds over him. And he's got to get past it. If he doesn't get past it, We're going to be dealing with this kind of thing for 4 years. You guys are going to continue sending me the email saying, I'm devastated over how it is that my president's being treated. I get it. I get it. But the best way to fight this particular thing is ignoring them. In fact, I'll give you a little, I always go on my little personal stories. When Miss Mary and I have fights, which are very, very, if we have a fight, I'm not talking about, where'd you put my keys? I didn't put your keys anywhere. Well, you touched my keys. That's not a fight. That's being married for 30 years. I'm talking about a real fight. What tends to happen is that one of us, typically me, I'll just stop fighting. Because I realize the fact that if I don't fuel her fire, the fight's going to end. But if I keep on fueling her fire, and she comes back with me, and we try to outdo ourselves with our Irish attitudes, the fight never ends. The kids get affected. It's miserable. So what I do is I just shut down. And then she'll try to continue, but I'm not fueling her. And so when I don't fuel her, she eventually gives up. And then, I don't know, about an hour later, we give each other a kiss, maybe a little extra, and then we move on. Right? Okay. I would love to see what happens for just 1 week. Just 1 week. If he were to never tweet. And let me tell you something. Make no mistake. I make money every time he tweets. Yeah, sure. Gives us a post, gives us something to put up, gives us another news story, put it up. Hey, people come and take a look at it. It's an interesting thing. It's like a phenomenon. Ooh, what do you tweet now? I'll be glad to take the money out of my pocket. 1 week. Don't tweet anything except for just policy-driven stuff. Don't put a picture of yourself golfing. Don't put a picture of gonna have dinner. Don't do any of that stuff. Tweet. Want to let you know, we've deported 22,000 people this week. Boom. Want to let you know, just met with the CEO of Intel. They're going to add 100,000 jobs. I'm making this stuff up. Just tweet that. Control the narrative. He has so much control, and yet he doesn't use it the way he should. Yes, it's a criticism, but it's a criticism of love. It's like telling my kid he's got a booger in his nose. Get that booger out of your nose. You don't let your kid leave the booger in his nose. You tell him he's got a booger in his nose. So I'm telling the president, you got a booger in your nose. Pull the booger out, all right? There you go. That's a great analogy. I love that one. You don't hear that on Fox News. All right, so anyway, let's move past that. I want to talk to you about this other story that we covered yesterday that had me all out of whack. Because I can't believe this isn't the front story. Can't believe it's not the front story on every single last newspaper and every last blog and every last television show there is. We got 3 brothers, 3 Muslim brothers. They get hired as IT experts in Washington, D.C. 3 brothers. Who does that? 3 brothers, Muslim brothers, they get hired, they're getting paid $160,000, $165,000 each. These kids are 22 to 25 years old. The $165,000 dollar mark is far excessive when you turn around and look at what other people in DC in the IT space are being paid, okay? So that's an eyebrow raiser. That's the number one. Number one is 3 Muslim brothers. Number 2 is $165,000 salaries. And number 3 is these guys are tapping in to computers that they have no authorization to tap into. They're tapping into congressional members' computers and the computers used by their staffers. They are grabbing intelligence data that they should have no access to. Even though I got the gloves, hands starting to get cold, man. You know what it is? It's not snowing anymore. Now it's driving rain. God, I love you. God, I love you. I like Sean Hannity. But you think Sean Hannity's going to come out in the rain and walk with you on a Sunday? All right. Oh, anyway. So these guys, they get nailed for tapping into this computer stuff and spying and taking the stuff. And we know that they've been fired. But we know nothing else. And from what I got from the Fox News report, Maria Bartiromo, however you say that last name, is that there is an investigation being looked into about these guys and their ties potentially to the Muslim Brotherhood, which obviously is not a good group. All right, what kind of ties do these guys have to terror? Where's that information going? We have one source. I have one really good source in DC, and I saw something printed, and I called up. I said, "What do you think, man? People saying this stuff?" He's like, "Yeah, they're saying that they think that possibly is speculation. Speculation. DML is spreading no fake phony. I'm telling you, it's speculation. I have not confirmed this. I would never be able to confirm this because I'm not inside the four walls. But the speculation is that perhaps Ryan Owens, the Navy SEAL who was ambushed and killed, that perhaps that information of where his whereabouts were going to be were found through this computer stuff. I don't know. Sounds like a movie to me, but at the same time could be possible. I have a hair in my mouth. Horrible when that happens. How'd that happen? Anyway, you know what, DML? Sean Hannity doesn't tell us he has a hair in his mouth either. Touche. Tell you, every time I do that with my gloves, I think my mother's watching. She's freaking out. Oh my God, I paid for braces and he's doing it with his teeth. Yep. So anyhow, I don't understand. You talk about extreme vetting, right? Extreme vetting. Everybody's up in arms. Who extreme vetted these three Muslim brothers? Huh? Who extreme? And here's the thing. And I think this is a side tangent, but I think this may be one of the things that gets under Trump's skin. And I get it, Donnie. The fact that this is not being exposed leaves the American people to believe, what's this extreme vetting thing? We don't need that. They don't know what I just told you. They have no idea. They know that Kellyanne Conway wanted to, try to help Ivanka push a few of her items, and she really didn't do it like a salesperson. She was doing it to make a point, because Ivanka is getting her shins kicked for absolutely no reason. Kellyanne Conway was just trying to be a little tongue-in-cheek, but they're crucifying her. Everybody in the country right now, everybody knows that Kellyanne Conway said, well, I'm going to go out and buy Ivanka stuff. Everybody. They focus on this crap versus focusing on the stuff that matters. So that's why when you've got this extreme vetting stuff, people don't understand. They're like, oh, what's the big deal? Because 9/11 is like, in most people's head, it's not like something that happened in a different lifetime ago. No, it didn't. It didn't. And the reason why we had 9/11 is because we didn't vet these guys. Remember I told you this story? I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but remember I told you this story? Maybe for those of you who didn't hear it when I told it. The 9/11 hijackers, right? Months later, despite the fact that they were dead, they were approved for flight school in Florida. Yes, they had put in applications prior to the 9/11 event to do flight school in Florida. And our government approved the terrorists who killed 3,000 people. You tell me we don't need extreme vetting? We got three Muslim brothers inside the hallways of Congress tapping computers with sensitive intelligence information. Let me be very clear. The United States of America cannot find its buttocks with both hands. And this is why DML's getting a little angry. This is why I want the tweets about the total BS to stop. Let's put the focus on these three guys. President Trump, send out this tweet about the three guys. Shine the light on stuff that needs to be shined on, not on Arnold Schwarzenegger's forehead. Now, as bad as I feel for Ivanka Trump, and as dirty as that play is out of the playbook of the liberals, she's going to be okay. She's not going to lose her home. You know, she's going to be able to sell her items a different way. Put them online, Ivanka. You'll do all right. Fight back. All right? I'm more concerned right now, not about Ivanka's lines coming off the shelves, but about Americans being able to go back shopping for whatever it is that they truly need. And so I'm calling upon the president. I've said it 10 times over. 10 times over. And I don't want to wait a couple of weeks. Why do we have to wait a couple of weeks? Tax reform, man. I said this to you already. Tax reform. Put out something now. Change all the narrative. Get the liberals and get the independents and get everybody psyched about what you're doing. Put more money in their pocket. That's what you do. And you force Paul Ryan. You force Mitch McConnell. You force these GOP do-nothing congressmen to get on the horse and start doing something now, not later. And Obamacare, do something now. Put stuff forward that matters, damn it. You know, don't say to me, I'm talking to you on the phone on the other end, don't say to me, he's only been in there for a couple of weeks. Yeah, he's been in there for a couple of weeks. It's almost a month. You got 100 days, man. The calendar flies. Look at yourself in the mirror. Just yesterday, you were 25. Look how quick things go. You know, I want these things done now. It's going to take 8 years minimum to get our country back on the track it needs to be on. It doesn't happen overnight. Look at the border wall. I've been telling you this stuff. It's very aggravating. Glad I took the walk and talk, getting it out of me. Very aggravating. The border wall, I told you, it wouldn't be done at best for 3 years. At best. Trump comes out with a tweet, well, I haven't been involved in the talks yet. You know, the price will definitely go down, just like the F-18 and the F-35s. You know, like I negotiated down. And all, you know, I get it. Fantastic. Get involved in the conversation. Have it now. But even so, let's be realistic. The wall is not going to be complete in 3 years. Why you say that, DML? You're not a contractor. I know I'm not a contractor. But you know what I am? I'm a realist. And I'm a guy who's been around. And I've been to the border. And I understand liberals. And I understand how all this works. And if you think the courts are up in arms now over a ban, wait until they start trying to put in the first poll. The environmentalists, anybody who... Don't think for a minute that every person who lives on the border is pro-Trump border wall. Come on, wake up. Some of these people are making a fortune on the stuff that's coming through that country, through Mexico. They're making a fortune. They don't want it to stop. They don't want it to stop at all. You think you got 2,000 miles of conservatives? 2,000 miles of people who want it all to end? No, you don't. You do not. Please. Please. You gotta snap out of it. It's not the way it works. That wall is gonna take a lot longer than you think, or that he's selling. We gotta be moving, man. 100 days. We're next week, we're gonna be 1/3 through the first 3 months. I know I might be sounding like I'm a little unfair here. But here's a prime example. I mean, I'm not wrong. Why don't we have a tweet about the three brothers? Why don't we have a tweet every day about the three brothers? I mean, if I missed a tweet, I'll say I was wrong. But why don't we have massive, massive lights shining on this? Why do I get a tweet about that CNN's microphone went bad while Bernie Sanders was making a joke about fake news? I am so tired of this fake news, just the word fake news, phrase fake news. I'm tired of it. Seriously, you're all morons. Not you. You guys are great. You're all morons. You morons on the left, you morons on the right. You're all useless. You seriously are. Fake news, fake news, fake news. Get your shit together. Seriously. Sorry for the curse. Get it together. Okay? There's no fake news. You know what fake news is? Fake news is an erroneous report that usually can be found on major liberal networks. Fake news. Is it fake news? Is it fake news? Is it fake news? Fake news? Give it a break. People are voicing their opinions. Yeah, you got some fake news. It's not fake news. It's misreporting. It's somebody trying to push an ideology. And you know what? It happens on both sides. But the liberals want to try to make it sound as if it only happens on our side. Stop feeding into it. Just report what's out there to be reported. Stop pushing the narrative. Fake news, fake news, fake news. Stop. I think CNN has lost its way. But let me tell you something. I also produced a television show for a year. I realized the fact that sometimes mics and earpieces, the feeds go bad. Is that what happened? I say it was. Yeah, I'm going to give CNN the benefit of the doubt, whether you like it or not. Because I'm not some BS artist. All right? I don't buy into this crap that these other guys sell you. Sell you the fear, sell you this. I'm not into that. I'm into what is. When I go to the doctor, I don't want the doctor pussyfooting around. Tell me what the problem is. Give it to me what it is. No extra. Don't underdo it. Give it to me exactly the way it is. If you don't, you're not my doctor anymore. Get out of my way. It's the way we got to treat this. It's the way we got to treat it. The narrative gets completely lost because nobody focuses in on what needs to be focused in on. Frustrates me to no end. Frustrates me. But nothing frustrates me as more as what I'm going to end with. I am, as you know, a huge fan of the family unit. I am a huge fan of showing respect for children and for families. You want to come at me? Come on. Come at me. If you can take me down, you can beat me. Beat me. Beat me verbally, beat me with words, beat me whatever you want. You want to be a tough guy, you want to be a tough woman, you want to come head to head with me? Let's go. You take my kids in, you take my wife in, becomes a different narrative, becomes a different story. I'm going to rip you into shreds. The media used to respect that sort of thing. You didn't tap into somebody's kids. And you certainly did not tap into somebody in a way that they didn't deserve it. What I saw last night, or this morning in a clip, of what SNL, Saturday Night Live, did to Kellyanne Conway, has me to the level that if I had the producers of SNL sitting in front of me right now, I would probably need to be restrained. I would. I'll admit it. I'd have to be restrained. Because when I just showed Mary before we walked, I said, Mary, take a look at this. Take a look at this clip. Get in my car, get a little warm. I said, take a look at this clip. And she's like, what? I said, it's SNL, what they did with Conway last night. And so I showed it to her. And she's like, there's not even one bit that's funny. Now, understand how Miss Mary and myself take a look at this. Oh, it's better in here. Jeez, is it better in here? I'm soaked. Check out the sweats. All wet. Oh, God. I'm gonna be sick tomorrow. One of you guys is gonna have to do the walk and talk. So anyway, you know, like when we watch Alec Baldwin do Trump on SNL, we don't like Alec Baldwin. We're not a big fan of his. If you've read any of my stuff, you know I usually take an extra jab or two if I can. We find him to be a despicable human being. Any man who would call up his daughter and leave on the voicemail that she's a fat pig Anybody who has tweeted out the sort of anti-gay slurs that he has tweeted out over the course of time and then deletes them like a weak man, I have no respect for. Mary has no respect for. But periodically, when he's doing Trump's imitation, which I think he takes too far, but periodically, he nails Trump. Once in a while, he nails it. And I'll actually even give a little giggle because he actually brings out one of the funny things about Trump. And I bet you, Trump probably gives a little chuckle once in a while as well. But what I watched last night with Kellyanne Conway, what they did to her, I think is criminal. If you haven't seen it, you should. And if you're going to be one of those people who come back at me and say, I'll never watch it, you should watch it. And the reason why you should watch it is because whenever you get the opportunity to look at your enemy's playbook on how it is that the enemy is going to look to take you out, take a look at the book. Don't be so righteous in saying, I'm not going to dare look. Take a look. Be able to have intelligent conversations with people based on things that have taken place. Don't just blanket your life in such a way that you only look at the things that you want to look at. You would become far better educated and far better in the know if you knew what play they were running, okay, before they run it. So they take Kellyanne Conway and they use a scene from Fatal Attraction. If you remember that movie back, I think it was in the 80s with Michael Douglas and whoever that blonde actress, Sharon Stone, where she was a psychotic woman who was always, she had an affair with Douglas, and Douglas was married, and she haunted him, trolled him, stalked him. Well, the skit goes off the fact that CNN proclaims that they did not invite Kellyanne Conway on their show, Jake Tapper's show, who's another clown, this Tapper guy. But that's for another day. So they have it so this way she's in his apartment waiting for him to come home after he was on set doing his show, in which he had a conversation about that he wasn't going to have Kellyanne Conway on the show anymore because she's not credible. So, long story short, he walks into the apartment and she's got a negligee on. And she's drinking alcohol. And she tries to sexually attack, if you will, Jake Tapper, who resists. She continues and continues. They actually show her with her, the actress playing Conway, is, with her tongue, I'm not even going to do it. And you know me. I'll push the envelope with some of my little antics here. I'm not even going to do it. She has her tongue out, licking on his face, licking on his neck, trying to seduce him at any level she can. Jake Tapper tries to continue to push her off. She says, I just want to be on TV. I just want to be on TV. I just want to be on TV. And he says, well, we can't put you on TV if you continue to lie. And then she turns around, she takes out a knife and threatens him with a knife. And then after that part of the thing goes, she goes back to the sexual innuendos and asks him to put himself in her to pull out the truth. I mean, it starts to get to the point of where it was so tasteless. You had to remind yourself that you were watching what is supposed to be a comedy show. And at the end, they have her fall out of, 4, 5, 6, 10-story building, smashes her down on the concrete floor, show her dead, and then all of a sudden she comes back to life like a zombie and says, I have 3 lives left. Now, as I'm watching this, not only am I not laughing, not only am I sickened by CNN's disgusting crap that they've done over the last week, not only am I disgusted by SNL and what writers came up with this, but all I can think about are the Conway kids and Conway's husband. Innocent bystanders who only want to do one thing: live their life, love their mom, and love their wife. those kids got to go to school on Monday. And when they go to school on Monday, you can bet your bottom dollar that almost every kid in that classroom is going to have seen that skit on SNL. And they're going to say something to those Conway kids. And those Conway kids are going to have the worst feeling inside. That's if they don't start crying. That's if they're going to have the worst feeling inside. You think SNL gives two damns about that? You think those pitiful, weak, little laugh-hungry men and women that sit at that piece of crap network give 2 cents about those children and that husband? We're not talking about somebody here like Madonna. We're not talking about some slut. We're not talking about some woman who's slept herself around. We're talking about a woman who gets up every single day, works her tail off for the American people. Maybe not the people at SNL think that they're working for her, but she gets up every single day like clockwork, probably at the crack of dawn. I mean, look at her. You know, you strip away all the TV makeup, and I'm telling you what you're looking at. You're looking at a tired woman who has been working her tail off, trying to be a mom, trying to be a wife, trying to be a friend, and trying to run a campaign, and now trying to help run the country. I'm certain that she goes home many a nights and sits down and probably has a tear or two shed. I'm certain she goes home and questions, why am I doing this? Every time the answer is, I guarantee you, because I love my country. Because I love my country. And she gets up, she goes back to work, she probably gets there, like I said, the crack of dawn. She probably gets home well after dinner time, if she even gets home around dinner time, knowing the fact that in 4 or 5 hours it starts all over again. She doesn't get to turn her cell phone off. She doesn't get to put it on vibrate. She doesn't get to put it in a drawer and just say, forget about it. She's got to be there for the president in case the president calls. These people at SNL, when they're done, they're going out cocktailing. They're going out dancing, drinking. God knows what they're sleeping and who they're sleeping with. Losers who have absolutely no regard whatsoever for any family. Losers who would actually sit there around a table and say, yeah, ha, 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 this is funny. Ha, 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 ha. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because there's no doubt whatsoever in my mind, 0 doubt, that what you did last night will stick with those kids forever. That you did that to their mom. Man, I'll tell you right now, you're lucky you're not in front of me. Oh my God, you're lucky you're not in front of me. I would. I'd be arrested. I'm telling you, hands down. Oh yeah, CNN clip 10 years from now when Lynch tries to run for office. Play it. Play it. Play the clip. This is why you can't get good people to run for office. This is why you can't get good people. This is why you get the scumbags who take money from people on the side under the table. This is why you get corruption. Because the scum go to Washington, D.C. The scum that don't think twice about somebody's family or somebody's reputation or what it is that they're sitting at and watching this go. She didn't do anything. She isn't tied up right now in some sex scandal. There's no innuendo whatsoever by Jake Tapper that Kellyanne Conway ever even remotely came on to him. There's no innuendo or rumor anywhere that she's a cocktailer who sits around and breaks into men's homes in her night negligee. There's no rumor going on that she carries around a knife and pulls it out. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to a woman? I'll tell you why they do it. I'll tell you why they do it. And I say this to you all the time. I say it constantly all the time, and I'm always freaking right. They do it because she is the most powerful person in that White House. She is the most powerful, smartest person in that White House. She is incredible. And they know they got to kick her down to the curb. It's the same reason why they're pulling Ivanka's stuff off the shelves. Kellyanne Conway is a tough little Irish woman. She's tough. Just because I say maybe she goes home at night and cracks a tear, anybody goes home at night and cracks a tear. Doesn't make you weak, makes you human. But this isn't about Kellyanne Conway. This is about her family. The irresponsibility that showers down on the people at NBC and SNL is immeasurable. And you should watch and share that video. And say to your liberal friends, this is pathetic. You don't do this to somebody. You think about this being done to you. And if your friends come back with some answer that she deserves it, they shouldn't be your friend. Because anybody who would even think, whether you're on the left, right, middle, or underneath, anybody who thinks that that's funny, acceptable, or good television is a complete ass. And if that's the kind of people you circle yourself with, cut them off. Yeah. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. And damn it, President Trump needs to get his act in order. That's it. Policy, policy, policy. Enough of this BS. Who cares about Arnold Schwarzenegger? Focus on the job. And if you don't like what I have to say, you know what? Delete my app. Delete my website. Don't come back. Seriously, don't come back. Because if you don't think that whatever I'm saying right now has validity, if you don't think that the future of our country and our servicemen and women, I haven't seen anything about the VA. I'm seeing more tweets about shit than I am about the VA. This isn't a game. It's not an ego contest. It's the United States of America. We just went through 8 years of living hell. My kids are going to absorb $21 trillion of debt. What are they going to do when daddy's dead? What? What are they going to do? We got China pushing the envelope every way they possibly can. We got North Korea shooting ballistic missiles. We got Iran shooting ballistic missiles. I just did a thing this morning. Babies, newborns in the United States of America, being born addicted to drugs at a rate that we've never seen before. You want to tell me about fake news? I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. I have high expectations. That's it. High expectations. Last night, Mary, myself, my two younger ones, we watched Hacksaw Ridge, the movie by Mel Gibson. Movie was over. Wife turns around to me and says, they don't make them like that anymore. I said, what do you mean? The movies or men? She said, both. When you look at these war movies, I just told you we were done watching Band of Brothers. I'm watching The Pacific again. You watch the pain and suffering and sacrifice and love that has and continues to be given for this country. Yeah, I got high expectations, man. High expectations. Every single day. Every single day. Working our tail off. Trying to fight the ocean of crap that just doesn't stop flowing in. And we get derailed by nonsense. Reminds me, you want story time? I'll give you a quick story. Reminds me, years ago, I was in my early 20s. Mary and I were together. We hadn't been married yet. We were engaged. We were out. We used to play football. I used to play football with Mary's brothers and a bunch of guys. We used to play on Thanksgiving. And after we played Thanksgiving football, we'd go up to the bar and hang out at the bar, watch whatever was on television, the Thanksgiving games, have a couple of beers, have some wings. Girls would be with us, the guys would be with us, we'd all be there together. It's like a tradition. We did it all the time. 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 or 5 guys came in, rowdy. And they said something to my sister-in-law. What my soon-to-be sister-in-law. So her boyfriend, little itty-bitty tiny thing, lawyer, good guy. He tried to say something back. He didn't stand a chance, but at least he was trying to be honorable. So I stepped in and said, why don't you cool your jets or whatever it may be. And now this guy's getting in my face. And before you know it, the bouncers come and they take these guys out. Because obviously they were instigators. We were there before, doing nothing. We got women with us. We're just having a good time. These guys are looking to be bruisers. So they get put outside, and I could see that they're still out there. It's all right. So I pretended like I was going to the bathroom, walked to the back of the bar, and I went out the back door. Went around the building. Went up to the guy who was in my face. I said, all right, now I'm here. Let's go. Everybody in the bar realized the fact. Dennis went outside. Mary knew what that meant. And so now I'm brawling with the guy, and the other guys try jumping in. Now all of a sudden, one of my brother-in-laws come out, one of the guys come out, and we're having a full-fledged fight. I won't say who it was, but one of the guys in our crew, who is not necessarily somebody who would want to be in that sort of situation, tries to stop the fight by pulling back my arms. Yeah, holding my arms back. And meanwhile, what's happening? I'm getting pummeled in the face by the guy and his friends while I'm being held back by my own team. And when I broke free of that and the whole thing was over, I said, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You're actually making my job harder than it had to be. Now, maybe not a great analogy, but we got to stop being held back by our own side. You know how hard it is. You deal with your friends and your family all the time. How do I know this? I get your emails. I read your comments. You actually ask me for advice. DML, how do I deal with my sister? She sent this. We had the story I told you about earlier before, the three young kids who hacked. I actually had a woman email me and say that one of her friends said it was fake news. Fake news. Fake news. He was arrested. There's an arrest made. Fake news. Fox News had it on. I mean, they showed the whole thing fake news. Well, what do I say? I don't know if Donald Trump understands that Susie and Joey and Billy and Dennis, every single day we're trying to fight this system of people who think that he's a nut. Give us nothing but bullets for our gun. Give us nothing but tweets and information that are specific to policy, and we will win the fight. But don't hold our arms back. And that's that. That's all I have to say. Aside from a very important thing. I have received a lot of complaints this week about the ads that pop up. The ads are not part of the app. The ads are on our website. And as of this morning, I made the phone call that said, these ads, and these ads, I want them gone. I want them gone. And they said, well, Dennis, your revenue is going to go down. I said, I want them gone. So for those of you who have been bearing through those ads, I thank you. I will have to figure out another way to get our revenue up. But I'm not going to make the experience of going to DML's app or DML's website an unpleasant one. So, just so this way you know that. That is being changed as we speak. Should be done in, I would hope, in the next couple of hours. Yes, there will still be ads, but they will not be the ones that are just making you want to go, ah! Those are gone. All right? If you have not downloaded the DML app, I don't know why you don't. All right? And yeah, let's just make a couple of things. We got to get a couple of things clear on this, man. Because last night I was reading some stuff. I was getting aggravated. I just started deleting people's comments. Deleting them. First of all, let's get the verbiage correct. The news button. Every time we hit publish on our website, every time we hit publish, it goes right to the news button. That, if you don't have your notifications on, you're not gonna know. It's like if somebody sends you a text, you got your phone, you turn your phone on, and you see next to your little text message, it says 4. You got 4 text messages. Okay, if you go and you see the DML thing, and it says 16, or it says 3, or it says 2, or it says 27, those are the amount of articles that we have published on our website. You could do. You could scroll through them, you could do headline surfing, or you could click through. It's up to you. But those aren't alerts. You understand? Those are just, you got them there in the news. If you don't want those, I had somebody go, oh, you're sending too much of it. If you don't want those, I don't know why you're with me. I wish you the best in the world. I hope that you have the greatest life, but I don't know why you're with me. You know, we're a news organization. We're building a news company here. We're going to put out the news. I'm going to be number 1. You get it? I'm not going to be number 2. I'm not going to be number 3. I don't want to be number 62. I want to be number 1. That's it. That's why we're working 18-hour days, 7 days a week, non-stop. This is the first break I've had doing a walk and talk. No joke. It's probably why I'm extending it longer than usual. Because when I go back, I got to go back to the website. I got to go back to the writers. I got to go back. It never stops. So that's what that is. Then the next tab is the alerts tab. Now pay attention. Pay attention. The alerts tab ties into my Twitter account. But you don't need Twitter. Do you understand? You don't need to get a Twitter account. I suggest that you just don't even get one. You don't need another social media account. You don't need it. Go live your life. Let me take care of that stuff. We tweet maybe 3-4 times a day.
Once in a while, it may go a little bit more than that. If there's a lot of stuff coming in. I'm the only guy who has the Twitter. Nobody else in my organization has the password to the Twitter because I never want them to abuse it. Only me. So you can live knowing that when you get an alert, I sent it. That alert comes up on your phone like a dong. DML is going to be walking talk. Dong. President Trump signs executive order. It's those sort of things. We're going to send them a couple times. If getting 3 of those a day annoys you, as one person put it last night, you shouldn't have my app. You shouldn't even be connected to me. If 3 times a day you can't hear, ding, I made something easier for you. Touch the no sound button. DML, I don't have a no sound button on my app. Go update your app. Try that. Update your app. We update it all the time, so there's new things. Hit no sound. Now it will just come up. If the buzz bothers you, you have bigger problems than me. That's that. So that comes up there. Those alerts. Those are important. It's all important, really. Then you got the store, which has DVDs on it. And for those of you who ordered DVDs, said, Dennis, I ordered 3 weeks ago. I haven't got it. It's because we ran out of DVDs. We had to remanufacture DVDs. We're a little slow right now because we're building all this stuff. But they're all shipping on Monday. So you'll be happy to know that. And then we've got another little thing, an information tab. And the information tab, now we're going to put a new thing up there. Having a problem with the app? Let us know. Yeah, so all the information you need to know. Contact us, all the other stuff. Then the last tab is the Walk and Talk tab, as you know it. Although that is expanding, where it would be non-stop video all day long, not just the Walk and Talk. DML, you're too small on the Walk and Talk. Okay. Based on your phone, either double tap my picture or touch the little thing at the top of the button, at the top of the page there. It looks like a little square box, and touch it, and I'll go big. Or turn your phone to the side, and I should go big. If you're still having those issues, if you have an Android, I think Android makes it a little harder. We're trying everything we can to make it so this way you can have full screen. It's not us, it's not the app. It's how the phones play the YouTube videos that are coming in through it. If you tell me DML, it's spinning. That's not the app. It's Facebook flowing through YouTube, flowing to the app. We would put the Facebook right to our app, but we can't because Facebook doesn't allow you to embed the videos on other people's devices. Then I have this one. DML, we can't comment. I understand. Think about it. If I can't put the Facebook on my app, the Facebook Live on my app, how are you going to comment? But what we are doing is, because we could use YouTube on the app, we're making it so this way you have YouTube and you can chat on the app. That's forthcoming. We're working on it. These are things we're doing. It's all coming. I get this one. DML, why are you charging for the app? I'm not charging for the app. You asked me for a credit card. I didn't ask you for anything. When you go to the app stores, iOS, whatever it may be, from what I am told, because I didn't experience this myself when I downloaded my own app, you have to give a credit card because I think they do that if you wind up getting an app one day that costs money. But my app ain't costing money. So don't worry about it. We're not charging your card. I get this one. DML, I don't have a cell phone, a smartphone. I can't afford one. I still have a flip phone. I don't know what to tell you. I can only do so many things. This is for smartphones and tablets. DML, I have a computer. Can you make it for the computer? Forthcoming. Forthcoming. What other things do I get? Dennis, can you tell Harlan to stop saying no, I can't. I suggest he stop saying but that's who he is. He says If bothers you, then don't watch Harlan. But Harlan is a Democrat, and he's a smart guy, and he's a loyal guy, and I even learn things from him all the time. Deal with the Yeah? If you can't deal with the you've got problems. No, yeah, I don't say and I don't say and I don't say like. But periodically I slip out a bad word. Harlan never does that. That's what I do. DML, you got to put Scarlett on more often. Okay. Scarlett doesn't have good internet, good service down where she lives in Texas. She can't do the walk-in talks. They're a disaster. So all she does now is the DML reports. Every day, once a day. Plus she's writing articles all day long. DML, is she coming to New York? As far as I know, yeah. Pretty soon. She'll be here. And then she'll be on every single day. With the shows. Yeah, it'll be good stuff. What else, you ask me? What else? There's so much stuff. I can't get to it all the time. DML, you need to... Oh, my God. DML, you need... Making myself laugh now. That's good. I need a little laugh. DML, you need to be President Trump's press secretary. No. No. First of all, I don't want to be a press secretary. Second of all, I'd be a horrible press secretary. I'd be fighting with everybody in there. I don't know how Sean Spicer's doing it. Kidding. I'd probably be a very good press secretary because I know this stuff and I would be able to control myself and I'd be able to shut them down. But I don't want to do that. I want to do the news. There's that answer. What else? Let's see. Harlan just needs to be closer to the microphone so we can hear him better. I don't know what to tell you. Harlan, get closer to the microphone so they can hear you better. This stuff that we're talking about here, this goes away in a couple of weeks. It really does. There's nobody who wants it to go away more. Woo! There's nobody who wants it to go away more than yours truly. Yes, I want it to go away. Why do I want it to go away, DML? Because it's a pain in the neck. It's a pain in the buttocks. All this phone stuff, you're spinning, DML. You're spinning. It's all a pain in the neck. I don't got good reception here, but I got good reception here. I got good reception. Can you see me? Can you see me in Facebook? I can't wait for it to go away. I can't wait for our studio to be there with real cameras, just recording it. And yes, I bought a treadmill. I bought a walking treadmill and a stand-up desk with a power button that goes... So I can sit at it or I can stand at it. And when I stand at it, I can do a walk and talk. So this way you feel like I'm walking and I'm talking. That's usually when I do my best stuff, when I'm walking and talking. And I'm at my desk. And I've positioned it so this way when you're looking at me, behind me is the lake at the estate. Come on! Thinking about you all the time. All the time. But we won't be spinning. If we're spinning, it's because of you, not me. Because we're going to be doing it on cameras, not on these phones. Yeah. Yeah. What else, DML? Are we going to be able to comment? Yeah, you'll be able to comment. You'll be able to comment. Yeah, you'll be able to comment. What else? Yes, deal with the and him pushing up his glasses. No, I'm not. That's what he does. He puts up his glasses. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. If he pushes up his glasses and you don't like it, close your eyes. Close your eyes. I'm not going to tell him not to pick up his glasses. Just like I'm not going to listen to anybody who tells me to shave or to get my hair cut. Oh, maybe I should listen to that. Oh, my God. Do you see all my grays coming in here? My goodness. Look at that. Oh, my God. I'm getting so many gray hairs. Look at that one. At least I got my hair. My God. I do need a haircut. But look at my gray. I got so many gray. Oh, I hate this phone. Oh, my God. Yeah, vanity hour with DML. Getting old sucks. Doesn't getting old suck? Oh, sucks. Just getting out of the chair sometimes, man. I'm like, is this my body? It sucks. It sucks. Mary made chicken parmesan the other day. We got chicken parmesan. I had like 3 pieces. She's like, want another piece? I'm like, yeah, I do. But I shouldn't have it. And she's like, okay. I'm like, give it to me. It tastes so good. And then meanwhile, like 2 hours later, I'm going to put on my pants. I'm like, did I really need that chicken parmesan? Damn it. You know, my buddy once said something to me pretty funny. And I'm going to jump off after this. I should probably sing a song. I'm in that kind of mood now today. Talking about my hair and my fat tummy. You're so vain.
You probably think this song is about you. Person just walked by. I don't know if you can see it. It's fogging up in here. She's probably like, what's that guy doing? It's all foggy in there. Yeah. It's a menage a trois. Me and 3,000 people. I'm saying something. Can't remember. I don't remember. It probably wasn't worth it if I can't remember what it was. I think I'm going to get a haircut. My barber guy's not open on Sundays and Mondays, so it'll probably look like this again next week. Anyway, oh, you know what? Before I get off, I want to thank so much. The donations you guys have been sending in this week are unbelievable, and I think it's because we're showing you the results and whatever. We're going to be showing you some pictures and video from the estate. We call it now the estate. We're going to show it to you this week. I want to thank all of you for sending in all the donations, whether $5, $10, $15, $25, $30, $50. We're getting them all. $250. We did get a $1,000 donation again yesterday from Janet Rush. Janet, thank you so much. Janet had already donated once before, $2,800, plus offered to give us free glass. She's a glass company. She gave another $1,000 because she believes in what we're doing. I can't say thank you enough. It's going towards our monitor. We got this big, huge monitor wall we're building, and we just bought all brand new Apple computers, all this different stuff. So it's going, and it's going, and it's going. We keep on putting it in, every time we get something. And if you could give it to us, we appreciate it. You're going to see the results. It's DennisMichaelLynch.com/donate. Every little dollar amount helps, and we just get to the finish line a little bit faster. So, that being said, I think it's time for me to go home. Until next time, which I don't know when next time is going to be. Now, I can tell you this, it ain't going to be 11:40 tomorrow. Oh, you know what, maybe. Maybe we can do it from the house, because you know what? We got the booster now. We bought a booster. The booster gives us better internet service on the phones, on the cell phones. So maybe I can. Maybe I'll do it on the treadmill tomorrow. That would be cool. Maybe we'll try it out. All right. Well, until tomorrow at some time, may God bless you. May God bless our troops. May God bless the United States of America. And please, don't take my little outburst before as a diss to our president. I just want to see him do well. I want to see us all do well. I want to see us limit the amount of ammunition we give to the other guys who want things to be miserable. And may God bless Kelly Conway's entire family. You certainly did not deserve what you had to go through. But that doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. Or at least it's good to believe anyway. All right. Adios, amigos.